Good evening to all of you in attendance and everyone watching at home. My name is Rick Aronofsky, a local community producer for such programs as Red Sox Weekly and Sports Forum. I'd like to welcome all of you to the second annual Golden Apple Awards. And this year will prove to be a different show than last year's, mainly because Rob will remember to press record this time, and we'll have a tape to look back at future events. So, Rob, I hope you press record. All right. What else sets this program apart from other award shows is that it's not held in a far-off place like Cannes, and it doesn't have a vague-sounding name like Sundance. Nor will you see kissing pop star divas, or you'll see rap stars punching out puppets. No celebrity couples or red carpets where Joan, Melissa, and Mr. Blackwell can critique our outfits. What you will see are some of the best television programs produced by talented local people. There are no big budgets, network executives, closed sets, trailers, lattes, and everything else that goes into these lavish productions. The ceremony serves as a tribute to the fact that television is no big mystery. We can all make television programs that are informative, entertaining, educational, and just a pleasure to sit back and enjoy. That is the whole point of public access television existence. The community can have access to a small piece of real estate in the city we call mass media. You, the community member, can share your point of view, interests, or experiences with your fellow townspeople. You can enjoy mass or a church service. You can watch your children, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, and friends perform in a school concert for the first time or walk the final few feet toward his or her diploma. We actually have seen some of our younger people grow up before our eyes on WCTV. Are there issues you would like to see addressed within the town? You can watch a local government meeting such as the Board of Selectmen and either stay informed on current events or even become involved in your town government. If you would like to know what is going on in our school system, well, you can watch the school committee meetings. They had a live meeting last night at 7 o'clock. You can get your local election results and see how the town decides what is right for the town in our annual meeting. Public access television really does put you in touch with your community. Let us now recognize those producers who have shown excellence in local access programming. To start tonight's show, we did follow one part of the run-of-the-mill award show formula. We decided to have some musical entertainment for you. However, they will not start playing if the speech should go on too long. We decided it would be best to have a local group who have a unique style of all their own. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to present for your enjoyment local historic folk group, the Jolly Rogues. That was a fine performance. You guys want to do another one? Are you all?
Sure, we'd be glad to. Can you tell us about that, Mike?
First song was Road to Boston, which was a popular song in 1775 and throughout the Revolution. The next one we'll be doing is a song that's made the top 10 on Broad Jam on online, those that follow any of those things. And this particular song is Lizzie Lindsay. It's a Scottish song about a chieftain that meets his future wife, hopefully, if he's lucky.
I don't know how that can be. No, not the land that we come from, nor we the one they go we. We gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay. Will you gang to the Heelands with me? Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay, my bride and my darling to be? Then up spoke Lindsay's best woman, and a bonny young lassie was she. If I had a mark in me pocket, it's wrong all that I would gang we. Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Heelands with me? Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay, my bride and my darling to be? So she kilted her coats of green satin, and she kilted them up to her knee, and she's off to the Heelands with Ronald, his bride and his darling to be. Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Heelands with me? Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay, my bride and my darling to be? So he took her high on the mountain, and he bade her look out o'er the sea. These isles are Lord Ronald MacDonald, our chieftain of highest degree. Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Heelands with me? Will you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay, my bride and my darling to be?
All right.
Next song, Boys of Blue Hill, is a Scottish hornpipe.
Yes, it is.
It's an Irish one.
And hornpipes used to be danced on at sea. And if you remember the Popeye theme, that's a hornpipe, and this is one too. This is Boys of Blue Hill.
And a final tune in the sea shanty and sea song category is a story about a 1754 ship that goes out whaling, Greenland whale fisheries, and tells the tale of woe of the men aboard the ship and their difficult times.
No more Greenland for you brave boys. No more Greenland for you. In 1754, on March of the 17th day, our gallant shipper anchored it lift, and for Greenland sailed away, brave boys, for Greenland sailed away. The lookout on the crossbeam stood with the spyglass in his hand. There's a whale, there's a whale, there's a whale fish, she cried, and she blows at every span, brave boys, she blows at every span. So we struck the whale and the line played out, and the whale made a plunder with his tail, and the boat capsized and 4 men were drowned, but we never caught that whale, brave boys, we never caught that whale. Out to loose or of my gallant crew, it does grieve my heart full sore, but the losing of that great sperm whale grieves me 10 times more, brave boys, grieves me 10 times more. Now Greenland is a dreadful place, a land that's never green, where there's ice and snow and the whale fishes flow, and daylight seldom seen, brave boys, and daylight seldom seen.
All right, let's take a minute to meet the Jolly Rogues. If, from right to left, if you could introduce yourself to the viewing audience here and at home as well.
Sure. I'm Paul Hardy. I'm from Reading, Mass., and I'm playing the violin, as you see, and I was also playing the mandolin right here. And they're both tuned the same way, G-D-A-E, and they're great for folk music and folk dancing, and that's probably the kinds of instruments that we used back in the 1700s.
My name's Alan Hicks. I'm from Westford, Massachusetts. And as Paul mentions, the mandolin and the fiddle are both probably the primary instruments of that time. There were guitars in that time. They were a little bit smaller than this one, of the standard guitar shape. This kind came around about 1830. And it's called a classic guitar, but it's still pretty close in sound to what would have been played back then. Michael?
My name is Mike Ryan. I'm from Concord. I play the percussions, in this case a Native American hand drum or the Irish hand drums, to add a little background and bass and solid sound, and to keep everyone hopefully together and at the same cadence. If we're lucky.
And I'm Jim Murray. I'm from the land of Nod and Goshen, to you known as Wilmington. I play the, the guitar and the octave mandolin.
All right. How does a historically based group like yourselves get started, and how did you all meet?
Well, I'm the newest member of the band, and the band had already been established prior to when I got together, so maybe talk to Alan here?
Okay.
See what Alan has
Actually,
to say.
Paul and I met each other 30 years ago when we were both playing folk music in college. But we hadn't seen each other for 30 years.
They had colleges back then?
They had colleges back then. One.
Harvard, right?
When we were, several of us were working as volunteers at Minuteman National Historic Park, which is in Lexington, Lincoln, and Concord, Massachusetts, doing historic reenactments and playing some music. And the idea came from Jim, actually, to get ourselves a commercial outlet, as it were, and put together a group to do colonial music in other areas. Michael?
Yeah, I just found the two of them playing together, and it sounded like they needed a little background bass sound, so I grabbed my instruments and jumped in, and we added two ladies with nice voices and called ourselves the Hartwell Players for a couple of years, and then we added Paul and became the Jolly Rogues.
And where do you perform? What type of venues do you go to perform at?
Telemanager.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Anybody that'll take you.
No, actually, we're going to England next year, 2004. We've been invited to play in Tewkesbury, England. We play, of course, all over at the Hartwell and Concord. We've done
Old South Meeting.
the Old South Meeting House this year.
Several
Waterfront.
local country fairs, Reading and Wakefield.
Yeah, we just finished that last week. And I think the Old South was probably the neatest there. It was done with the Boston Tea Party originally was.
And what do you have coming up locally in the near future?
Well, we're going to be over at for the Battle Road Heroes that's
Yeah.
coming up.
Right, we'll be at the Minuteman National Park, and Mike, what's the night for that?
The 11th of October is the Heroes Program, and we'll be over there playing on the 4th of October for filming that the Discovery Channel will be doing.
All right, and for those of you who would like to hear more of the Jolly Rogues music, how can they hear you? You have a CD out. You have.
Funny you should ask.
Take the show.
Tape the show, yes. We have, of course, our own CD, The Road to Boston. And yes, we've gone .com. You can find us at jollyrogues.com or even amazon.com.
The CDs can also be purchased at the visitor centers at Minuteman National Park in Lincoln, and Lexington, and in Concord.
It actually helps them to sell the CDs. We give them a special break on the CDs. And so if you buy one over there, you're actually helping the park too. So.
All right, well, thank you very much for your performance. It was our pleasure to have you here at Golden Apple Awards, and best of luck in the future. And everyone, the Jolly Rogues.
Thank you very much.
All right, now we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll continue with tonight's festivities.
Welcome to WCTV. I'm really thrilled to welcome you all here today. As you know, this has been a couple of years in the making, and we're all really excited that we're about to get off the ground. A couple people I'd like to introduce. I'm Kimberly Andrews. I'm the Director of Public Relations for WCTV. Charlie Gilbert is our President, and Phil, behind the camera, is our General Manager. There's one person very important that's not with us today. In fact, our studio is dedicated to him. I'd like to just read for you the dedication. This studio is dedicated in fond memory of Edward H. Rideout, Jr. Extraordinary vision, true commitment, and compassionate leadership were the hallmarks of his life. May the reality of public access to cable television to the community of Wilmington be an embodiment of his spirit. And we have asked Mrs. Rideout if she would officially cut the ribbon for us and open WCTV.
I will do that with pleasure. Ed was so thrilled about this whole thing. Can I do it now?
Please do.
Okay, here we go.
information technology. This is Wilmington Community Television, committed to the freedom of speech and the right of every citizen to access the media. WCTV is a vital communication conduit to the residents of Wilmington. The creation of WCTV and what it has become is the result of many dedicated Wilmington residents sharing a common vision.
It seems to me that community access TV today is a real valuable way for bringing the community together. Today in our society, people are really isolated, even in the midst of a growing society, growing population in Wilmington and other communities. There's still a sense of isolation, as people often don't know their neighbors as well as they once did. People with busy lives who have two jobs, both parents working and kind of get home just busy trying to get to know each other, a lot of times don't know what's happening around in the community. And so it seems to me in our society today, community access television really helps provide that sense of community that doesn't really exist in a lot of other ways. And especially for, with our specific situation in the church, it's amazing how many people I hear that are involved or in the community that hear our service and watch our service on TV. People that aren't even associated with the church, but they just like the fact that it's a locally broadcast of religious service. There's plenty of other things you can get from all over the country, but there's not many other services that are local. And so they have a connection to the community. There's a number of shut-ins, a number of people who don't get out very often or might be away on a Sunday, so miss either our church services that they might be a part of, or else just miss their church service in this community, whatever denomination might be, and come home and are able to see it on TV and feel connected in a way, know what's happening. They hear the people who are raising up in concern or prayers for, and kind of feel connected to the people sitting in the pews and connected to the community in general. So I really feel it's a wonderful vehicle for connecting people, and very important in our society.
Local access has presented a number of opportunities for people. First of all, it's given residents an opportunity to get a better sense of what local government is doing, being able to see what is happening at Board of Selectmen's meetings, school committee meetings, and other town meetings, and so on. It's given residents an opportunity to do their own programming, whether it is a hobby or otherwise, to create their own programming for broadcast. It's given kids an opportunity, students an opportunity, both as a recreational resource to find out about how you program and how you set up shows, and also as an educational opportunity. I'm sure there are students that have gone on from here and perhaps taken courses in college in broadcasting. So those opportunities have just been tremendous, and I think at this point WCTV has become an institution in town.
WCTV was created in 1987 as part of Wilmington's license renewal with Greater Boston Cable Corporation. Soon after the system was purchased by Continental Cablevision, WCTV's volunteer board of directors spent the next 2 years developing policies, hiring staff, and building the Access Center.
I really don't think the selectmen really know what they were getting into. And I think now that they found out, they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Well, I thought that some really clever people were involved on that board, excluding myself, but they really knew the law, knew what was offered to the town, and had the sense to make the most of it. So initially we put on one station, but immediately jumped to 3 stations, because Charlie Gilbert had the insight to say, if we don't use these, the Continental or somebody else will use it for other purposes. So that was one major change, that it immediately went from one few meetings, then it went to 3 channels, and everybody knew that it was worthwhile to do that.
I became the Chamber of Commerce business representative and to the board of directors, and there were a variety of representatives. We all started meeting in town hall, and literally there was nothing. There was a concept. There was a group of people who had an idea and a goal, but we sat down that first night and said, well, what is this going to be? You know, what's your idea and where is it going to come from? That was in 1986. And we met for quite some time in the town hall and talked about everything from what kind of equipment are we going to have to how are we going to run it, what are our rules going to be. And basically we spent our whole first year just talking and finding a location. From there we hired our first general manager, and he operated out of some rented office space that my mom, Ann Mahoney, donated. He had a desk there, and he just did some occasional shoots. But it was an adventure, I'll have to say that, because we were educating the community about what WCTV could be, and we were also trying to formulate ourselves at the same time.
I have to say that when I came in here today, I was really proud of us in the town of Wilmington, and I felt we had spent our 5% very well, because we've gone from being a kind of hit or miss starting out operation to a very professional operation. And those of us who were on that board in the beginning, I think, saw a lot of growth. And I didn't leave the board until we finally set up ways that people would leave the board after a number of years of service. And you could run again within a year if you wished. But I felt that when I left, this place was launched, and we were going to go on to do wonderful things. And I feel that we have, and I would hate to lose it.
Community members involved with WCTV are instrumental to its continuing success. Many of the town's organizations have utilized WCTV's resources to further their own mission and increase community awareness of their goals and objectives.
Continue to this day to televise the auction. It's run on a 2-night basis. The first night, the auction is held right here in the studio and is televised live throughout Wilmington. The second night, the auction is televised at the Knights of Columbus and broadcast on tape. But the first night, when we do it live from the studio, it's given us a tremendous amount of publicity and a tremendous amount of exposure. And quite frankly, over the past 7 years, it's changed the face of the auction. It's made it a completely different event for us, and it's allowed us to publicize what the Wilmington Rotary Club does throughout the town. It's been a lot of fun for us, too.
I think that this is one of the best opportunities for the senior center to put its best foot forward and explain themselves and what they have to offer to the eligible seniors who have not yet come up to the senior center and become a part of it. They literally don't know what they're missing. And every few days we do have someone new, and some of them admit that they became interested because they saw the scenes on television, and they thought to themselves, well, they aren't just sitting around and playing poker or playing cards with each other or tic-tac-toe or something like that. They look like ordinary people having a good time doing what ordinary people do, and that's what it is.
We actually use WCTV a great deal for publicizing the whole recycling effort. A number of different programs that have come about since then. The curbside recycling, publicizing that, publicizing the leaf and yard waste pickup, also publicizing the backyard composting program. So it really, I think, is a tremendous asset for the town as an alternative to simply putting information in the newspaper.
WCTV's coverage of governmental meetings and political debates has become essential in educating and informing more of the public about the decisions that affect the town of Wilmington.
In terms of the life of WCTV, I became town manager. So I became town manager in June of 1990. And at that time, WCTV was really beginning to do more, and of course they were televising meetings of the Board of Selectmen and other public agencies. And I think what it has done, and it's probably a trite and overused expression, but it's brought government much closer to the people. And one of the things that I find that it does is it eliminates a middleman, so to speak, and I make no ill comments on the news media, but certainly you're getting somebody else's point of view when they're reporting on an activity that happens at a selectmen's meeting, for example. Now people don't have to wait to find out what happens. They find out immediately, and at the same time, they find out without any kind of bias. They're able to make up their own mind as to what was said.
We first became aware of WCTV and the promise of it when we were doing candidates nights, and we wanted to get that information out to the broader community. And at this point, I don't really recall what year it was. We did the first candidates night on cable, but it was very well received by the community, and the candidates, of course, just loved it because they were able to get their message out in a way that was unbiased, that was fair, because the League is one organization that makes sure when we do candidates forums that everybody gets a fair opportunity. So that's been a wonderful thing.
Well, certainly one of the first areas that the town hall became involved in WCTV was through coverage of the selectmen's meetings. And I think that really changed the whole dynamic of selectmen's meetings once they became televised. Probably largely for the better, because people now are able to sit home and tune into the selectmen's meeting and have a greater sense as to what is happening, as opposed to having to go down to town hall.
Education has become an integral aspect of WCTV. Video production classes are being taught throughout the school system, including the high school and the middle school. It is at the high school where these classes have been incorporated as part of the regular curriculum.
I've always looked at WCTV from kind of the educational viewpoint, because that's how I really got involved. I was working in the schools at the time and always thought, this is wonderful. I mean, you can put all these kids on TV. You can say, look at the wonderful projects the teachers are doing. I thought it was just a wonderful resource.
I've definitely learned a lot from, 5 years here at the station, because it's a lot, my goal is actually, my career goal will be to work in broadcasting at a Boston news station. So, the stuff that I've learned here is going to give me a, tremendous advantage over, my freshman year in college. I'll probably know a lot more than somebody who's just starting out.
I mean, when I came in here, at first, I had no idea how to run a camera, and I've been learning ever since. I mean, now I know how to work basically everything here, and I can help pretty much anyone out with anything.
The classes from the high school are certainly using the facility the way that I always hoped that they would. And that didn't happen overnight. We had to find teachers who were willing to do it. We had to solve the problem of the scheduling, because they have to walk over here and walk back. But in the last 3 years, Suzette Hall and then Kathy Chabot, those kids have learned something. And we have some kids who are going on to a career in video.
The things I've always wanted to see come through here, through the school department, have all in all worked out better, because the young people we're getting are almost the cream of the crop as far as this business is concerned.
WCTV is committed to being part of the communication loop of Wilmington, and will continue to be in the future. In a world where technology is rapidly changing, WCTV will be crucial in keeping the residents of Wilmington informed by the residents themselves.
Awareness through communication. Anytime you can watch a program, the community, I think, is a little bit more aware right now of what the fire department is, what the firefighters do on a day-to-day basis. We last year had a program, which is one of my favorite type of programs that WCTV does. It was generated by kids that wanted to produce their own program, and they came to the fire department. They interviewed the firefighters on duty, and so there was a great learning curve for them, but also a great, again, medium for the community to see what the Wilmington firefighters do. And, you know, so that awareness just makes it, the community run that much smoother.
I think with all the new technology that's coming about, right at this point, we're not really sure where everything is going to go. But as long as WCTV is around, people will still be able to express their opinions or their viewpoints or their excitement about a certain topic or event within town. And no matter how big these conglomerates get, with WCTV still around, the guy in the street can say what he thinks or make a show that he's interested in. He could do stamp collecting if he wants, and he can still do that. With the big conglomerates, he could never go and knock on their front door and say, gee, I'd like to do a cooking program, please. I mean, without credentials, nobody would listen to him. But here, we'll listen to him, we'll help him out, we'll bring him to this edit bay and say, do your thing. And that's something I think that as long as WCTV's around, that's what our technology can continue to do with the big conglomerates doing whatever they want.
We are back live here for the second annual Golden Apple Awards, and I'm sure you enjoyed that video tribute to past programs on WCTV. And we're going to continue on with the award ceremony. And sometimes you have to start off small, so we're going to begin with the award for Best Program under 10 minutes. Sometimes a producer can get the show done within 10 minutes, hence the name. These programs are usually short but sweet, just like this introduction. So here are the nominees. We are live. I know no jokes. I can't dance. I can't tell you the Red Sox score. And this is longer than 10 minutes. And we don't get the award. That's right. Ooh. Ooh.
Wilmington is a small suburb in eastern Massachusetts and is one of the fastest growing communities in the state. Wilmington Community Television is a public access station that delivers local programming into all the homes.
All right. And the winner is first place award for special under 10 minutes, Johnny Maravellis. Congratulations. You want to say a little speech here? Sure.
Hi. John is at college, so I did call him, and I asked him what he would want me to say. He told me, Mom, say something funny, but for me to tell you something funny would be a long story, so I'll make it something very short. I think this love affair began with John when he was little, and he filmed himself and his brother, and then he played back, and sorry, then he saw himself and his brother, and to him this was a great, fun thing, and I think that's when it all began. And on behalf of John, my son, I thank you for the award. Thank you.
All right. Now, our next group of nominees are not necessarily short, but they're young. For the past few years, WCTV has offered programs to the young people of Wilmington through the Youth Outreach Program. Young people of Wilmington as young as 8 can learn how to create a television program at WCTV. It's amazing what these young people can do with a camera. Only in the world of public access television could you have a young person write, produce, direct, and edit a television program. I know some of the network's programs seem like they were written by a bunch of 6th graders. But only on WCTV do you really get to see the impact of public television has on the young people. It allows them to communicate with the world around them. It strengthens and stimulates creativity, as well as builds their confidence in this ever-changing, challenging world. Our nominees tonight for Best Producer under the age of 18 are we happen to have in our studio a group of young ladies and their coaches who I think have done a wonderful job all throughout the year, culminating in an award that they won probably about a month ago. This award, Producer Under 18, goes to Stephen Rose. And I believe... And we have Steve's parents?
Yes.
How you doing?
Very good, thanks.
Congratulations. And I believe we have a speech as well.
We have a speech?
You? Go ahead.
Not much I can really say, but no, he's pretty proud of this. He's down in Texas right now. He's in the Air Force. And I thought they were going to have him on the phone or whatever, and
We do.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
have
have him
Stephen.
on
We
the
have
phone.
Stephen on line 1 right now.
You can accept in person.
Steve,
sort of.
can you hear us?
Hello?
Stephen.
Yeah.
Rick Aronofsky.
How's it going, brother?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
All right. You won the award this year. How's that?
I can't believe it, man.
All right. Give us a little speech.
Oh, damn, where do I start? First, I guess I have to thank my parents for being there, for picking this up for me. Gotta thank my boy Brian Gillespie for entering in the festival. Everyone at WCTV, Rob, Ruth, Donna, Jessica, y'all been a big help. Even Rick Aronofsky for all the football and basketball footage. And of course, all the cheerleaders, without them, I couldn't have learned everything I did. All the coaches, Nancy, Deb, and Kathy, for helping me out with scheduling. Nicole, especially Nicole, for helping me out with the production. Casey and Maria with the music, the whole team. And, if I didn't mention your name, I love you, I miss you. I'm counting days to come home. Thank you so much. This means a lot to me.
All right, proud of you, bud.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, our next category appeals to people of all ages. These people are the fans and admirers of America's favorite pastime besides the internet. Yes, I'm talking about sports. From foosball to women's football to girls ice hockey to Japanese pro wrestling, these producers all feel the thrill and excitement, the highs and the lows, the overtime victories, and the agony of defeat with their favorite athletes. This is not the scripted, slickly produced, multi-camera productions with a halftime show per se. I mean, it could, but it's not a requirement. This is real sports brought to you by real fans. Let us see the highlights of the nominees for Best Sports Program.
Packers Super Bowl, and I'm going to have Raiders and the Bucks, which, you know, I've been kind of looking over the last 4 or 5 weeks, just kind of seeing how scenarios are going to play out. And every time I did it, I ended up with Oakland, Tampa Bay. I figured I better stick with it because something was in the cards that made that happen.
This world is mine for the taking. Make me king as we move toward a new world order. A normal life is boring, but superstardom's close to postmortem. It only grows harder, homie grows hotter. He blows us all over. These fools is all on it.
Ron Sheldon stole most of my lines for Crash Davis in Bull Durham, and then he gave me an acknowledgement for that. So, you know, when you see Bull Durham, and then the obscure bartender in Cheers was patterned after.
All right, like any great athlete, some producers can perform on a regular basis. Here, however, it could be as long as 6 months or as short as 1 week between regularly scheduled shoots. Series producers are dedicated individuals who put their inspiration and perspiration into bringing you, the viewer, a program on a regular or irregular basis. This encompasses an enormous amount of work, from setting the stage to writing the script to obtaining and maintaining a dedicated crew. And the phone calls. Did you know some producers actually receive phone calls about their shows? Can you believe it? When you get to get phone calls at a volunteer organization regarding a series, you know there is just a wee bit of stick-to-itiveness that goes into making some of the best series programs. So let's take a look at the work of these dedicated producers.
When there is so much pain and so much hurt. I'd like to explore that a little bit. St. Paul reminds us that hope is one of the great virtues. What do we hope for, and how do we hope?
Don't trust even the sweetest deals. Seniors offered tips on fighting identity theft and mail fraud. By Stephen Bjork. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine. And I'm Allie. Today we're reviewing 2 great movies, Legally Blonde and the sequel. In Legally Blonde, Reese Witherspoon plays Elle Woods, a sorority girl who gets dumped by her boyfriend Warren Huntington III.
All right, the first place award for sports program went to Mike Stewart. And I believe Mike is not here in the studio anymore. So Chris Cassidy, can you accept this for Mike? Okay. All right. You want a series? Okay, and I don't know where that is. And the winner of the series program is?
And now, selected snippets and events from the town crier's Wilmington Police log. An SUV was reportedly egged while it was parked on Parker Street.
All right, and the winner of the 2003 Golden Apple Awards First Place Award Series program goes to Walter Collings. There you go, Walter.
It's a great honor. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank first and foremost Donna Gasick for giving me the opportunity to do the show. The rest of the crew, Jessica and Rob, who I'm constantly bothering because I don't understand PCs too well. Just WCTV is a great place. This place is a hidden gem. Anybody watching tonight that has any inkling to get into some type of art, do try something different, this is the place, believe me. Thank you very much, a great honor.
All right. Judges can sometimes throw the book at you. Where is he going next? Special program. As opposed to, okay, we're going to a special program. All right, as opposed to having something scheduled on a regular basis, some events can only happen once in a lifetime. These are special moments, and it gives our next category its title, Best Special Program. There are so many special programs here at WCTV. Actually, they're all special, but by special, we mean these once-in-a-lifetime sort of moments. From hearing the sounds of first graders sing My Country 'Tis of Thee, to the awe and the magic of a fireworks display and a band concert, a special could even recount the group's activities of a passing year or something that's completely new. Let us take a look at those special programs who make some of the best special programs.
Trip. It was probably one of my favorite trips, and it was pretty cool the first time we went up. It was a total adrenaline rush.
It was a blast, and it's definitely something I'd do again.
Good evening, Wilmington, and welcome to WCTV's live coverage of Election Night 2003. My name is Chris Cassidy, and I'm joined by a crew of about 10 of us from WCTV. We're reporting live from Room 9 of the Town Hall, and over the course of the next few hours, we hope you'll join us.
Fulfillment of their secret
What we're going to do is we're going to go right up the top of this hill right here.
Yeah.
There's a field up at the top. Then from that point on, we can decide on if we want to hike as a group, take off on your own. But I will most likely be coming a group that anybody would like to follow us.
All right, in the winner of the 2003 WCTV Golden Apple Awards, First Place Award Special Program goes to Gary Braxton. Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you. Well, I didn't know they wanted me to say anything, so this will be refreshingly short. But I want to thank everybody at WCTV, especially Rob, who was very helpful in the blue screening part and rewiring the cron for me time and time and time again. But more than that, I especially want to thank the Scouts in Boy Scout Troop 47 of Tewksbury, because if they weren't having a good time and doing what they do in scouting, then there'd be no need to do the videotaping. So, thank you.
All right. Now we're back. Judges can sometimes throw the book at you. In this case, the staff of WCTV threw the tapes at them. It's true, and one of them is still recovering from the injuries. But seriously, WCTV grouped 3 judges from 3 different local access centers to ensure the impartiality of the judging process. These judges have no prejudices, and they would not know any of the entrants from Abraham Lincoln. Well, they may know Abraham Lincoln. I mean, he was one of our presidents. Well, without any more legal jargon, the Judge's Choice Award goes to
that we have now of the voter turnout as of 7 p.m. That was an hour ago, an hour before the polls closed. I believe we have a graphic for that. As of 7 p.m. tonight, the turnout in Wilmington, 3,417 votes. That does not take into account the 200-plus absent.
All right, in the WCTV Golden Apple Awards 2003 Judge's Choice, Wilmington Town Election 2003, produced by Chris Cassidy.
Thanks. Actually, this award isn't so much mine as it is everybody that helped out as part of the crew on Saturday night, basically giving up their Saturday night to help out with the town election. Everybody from Rick Aronofsky, who directed that, Sandra Curtin helped produce it. We had Dawn Leard and Ron Bucari. Tom Bazira was on camera. I know if I start naming names, I'm going to forget somebody. But we had a lot of people. My father helped tabulate some of the votes. And everybody, I think, really just did a very good job of making sure that people of Wilmington got their votes the best way that they possibly could. Thank you.
All right, and finally, our last category conjures up images of Border Collies and Bull Mastiffs prancing next to their oddly attired owners and handlers running around in a circle. Why, yes, it is the Best of Show category. The title explains itself. This program stood out in the minds of our judges as the best program. It has caused quite a headache, actually. You would have had a headache, too, if someone stood out in your mind. There's only room for a brain inside there and not much more. Well, here it is, the Pomeranian of Public Access program, the WCTV Best of Show Award.
As the Scouts learn new things, they can earn merit badges and advance in rank.
Peter has earned his personal management, personal fitness, his citizenship in the community, and his computers.
All right, and the 2003 Best of Show goes to Best of Show Friends and Brothers, produced by Gary Braxton.
Well, unfortunately, in the past 5 minutes, I still haven't written a speech, but I guess I'm speechless, but thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, before we close tonight's program, I would like to call upon a special guest tonight, an alumni of the great institution of WCTV, Miss Amy Breaux.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's good to see everyone again. You're probably wondering why I'm here. I bounced from place to place. I was here, and then I was in Reading, and now I'm in Stoneham. But I'm here tonight because we have a very special award to give, and I have a couple of special guests that are here to make sure that I give that award. And I would really appreciate it if our Executive Director, Ruth Kennedy, could come to the stage for me, please. Hidden behind this curtain, I have a few guests, so if you can bear with me, please. Ruth's mom is here, along with her father, who's on a camera somewhere, buried somewhere in the back, as well as her husband and daughter, Zoe. Tonight, we're here to recognize a very special person to WCTV. As you all know, for the past 8 years, Ruth Durkee Kennedy has been the executive director. I have, some of you may not have seen her before she was here at WCTV, so I have a special video to show you some highlights of Ruth Durkee Kennedy over the years before WCTV and since she's been here. And we want to thank her so much, and you'll be able to see that video now.
Hi, this is Ruth Durkee for WCTV. We're here on Wilmington Common for Day 5 of the Fun on the 4th festivities. Tonight's activities besides dinner include a 3.2-mile road race, a couples relay race, and the carnival with a concert to start at 7 o'clock. Let's take a look and see what was happening on Wilmington Common tonight. Hi, welcome to High Adventure. My name's Ruth Durkee, and tonight I have a couple of interesting guests with me, and they are two men who happen to be part of the first expedition to conquer Mount Everest. And with me tonight, sitting with the pink shirt on, we have Barry Rugo, and he's from Jamaica Plain, and next to him is Mark Ritchie from Essex, Massachusetts. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. What was it like being part of the first group that ever was from New England to climb Mount Everest? What was that like?
Masha. Hey, you look a lot like
Thanks everybody for being so patient. One of the things that I guess I wanted to say is I really appreciate all the hard work that all of you have given over the past year. And without our volunteers are our greatest asset. And without you, we would literally have nothing to watch on any of our channels. You can see all of the accomplishments that we've all had by just taking a look at the annual report that you all were able to pick up on the way in. And if you don't have one, you can get one on your way home. You know, including the number of hours of programming that were produced here. And I think that for that, we should all feel really proud. So we all need to give ourselves a round of applause for the great work that you guys all did this year.
And the second story, this was actually very interesting, and this is a hot topic regionally. It isn't just something that's affecting Wilmington. It's the fiscal year 2002 budget, and thank goodness we have Bruce Carr here to explain all this stuff for us. But the most, obviously the most contested race there is going to be for the Board of Selectmen. And currently there are 9 candidates running for 2 seats on the Board of Selectmen. Be able to have someone local, I don't know if I'll hold that up for Dick's camera, to have someone local and have their work on display. So I thought maybe we should just let people know. Found these cameras in the woods, and they're filthy. I have no idea how they got like this, and I haven't seen Corey and Susan in a really long time, so if anyone has any information on that, you should really let me know. But the cameras, you know, at least we got the equipment back. That was the important thing anyway.
Again, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. This is our, oh my gosh, 16th annual meeting, I believe, and it is the 8th annual meeting that I've been your executive director. And you know, I know I say this every year, but I honestly mean it, that it's an absolute pleasure to work with the volunteers, the dedicated people in Wilmington, and the volunteers here at this organization. And it makes me extremely proud to think of all the things that you accomplish, and it's always inspiring to work with such a group of people that believe in what they're doing.
That was just a sampling of the things that Ruth has done here for WCTV. Those were just the things that she was on camera for, or maybe didn't even know she was on camera for. There's so many things that she's done here at WCTV, from getting staff members here, like me, to getting all of you here. And you know the countless programs that you do, and it's because you had a leader that believes in community television, not only believes in the people that are here in the community, but your right to freedom of speech. I have a couple people here that want to wish her well. We are going to miss her. One is one of our producers, Chris Cassidy. So if he could come from wherever he is, he's just going to say a quick few words.
Thanks. One of the fun things about WCTV and the reasons why we all continue to produce here, I think, part of it is because we believe in the shows that we're doing, but I think a big part of it is that producing a show here at WCTV is a lot of fun, and what makes it fun are the people here. And one of the people that have always, at least encouraged me and everybody else, has been Ruth. And I remember the first day I met her, and from that point on, for I guess it's been 8 years since you've been here, we've always just had a lot of fun, and I think that's part of the reason why we always come back to WCTV and why we enjoy producing all of our shows. And I know that WCTV's not going to be the same place without her, and I'm really going to miss her, and I think we all are too. And I think we're all indebted to everything that she's done. I think she's definitely made the TV station a much better place, and I think also made the town a better place because of all the ways that the community's been brought together as a result of her. So thank you, Ruth.
Another person that you may all remember from way back used to be our youth outreach coordinator here, and his name is Corey McNeil. So Corey, if you can come on out from behind the door.
Behind door number one. Hi. There you go. Thanks. Okay. Gee, this is the most nervous I've ever been in this particular studio at one time. A couple of days ago, Amy was like, "Oh, come here, say something funny," and my mind has been blank for the last 2 days, but why is that to be any different from any other day? Well, first off, let's see. We all get involved with television because it's something where, we have the dream of being on television, but somebody has to direct that dream, coordinate all the things that go involved with that, and keep it afloat on the sea of paperwork. And, Ruth's been doing that and keeping this place going ahead, and everybody here agrees with it's been going very well. That's about it. Once again, thank you very much for all that you've done. And I think we can go to the next person now. Thank you.
Another flash from the past was actually here before I was here, and I actually got his office. So I'd like to thank Dan Mio for coming tonight, and he'd like to also say a word. So Dan, if you can come.
Oh, okay. How you doing?
Hey, Ruth, what's going on? You surprised? Oh, good, good. Yeah. Well, couple of little problems getting you. Well, sort of. I gave a best man speech like a couple weeks ago, so I got this thing down. This is sort of. I'm more nervous now though. So I got a little funny story about Ruth. It has to do with a little computer that that I bought, trying to save WCTV some money, and I thought, hey, I'll go to the discount computer place up in Burlington and buy this great computer. Ruth was like all excited, like, oh, great, gonna save us some money. So brought it in here, and the video card died. And then the sound card died. And then Ruth was, what's going on with this computer? Send it back. So, and then the hard drive died. So it was like one thing after another after another. So by the time I left, the computer was in pieces, had been taken apart, put back together. It was still sort of running, but it always had problems after that. And I think it was dubbed after that the Dan Mio Memorial Computer. It even had my name on the top there that said Mio, the service tag there. So that was good. But I hope you've forgiven me for that. I hope. But what I want to say is that you've inspired me, you've encouraged me, and most of all, you've been my friend, and I very much appreciate that. And I don't think I'd be where I am today if it wasn't for you, really. So.
Say hi, Mommy. Say hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy.
Couple more things. We, as you know, the current staff that's here, a lot of them are doing things right now to make sure that this show can go on, but one of them is Donna Gasick, and she'd like to also say something to represent the staff of WCTV currently. Donna?
Thank you, Amy. Ruth, I'd just like to say it's been so wonderful working with you. You really put the community in Wilmington Community Television, and you should be very proud of all the work you've done. We're very proud of everything we've learned here, and I'm really proud to know you and have you as a friend. Thank you.
As a representative of the WCTV Board of Directors, we have a special token for Ruth that we'd like the President, John Doherty, to come out and read. John?
Thank you, Amy. Good evening, everyone. Ruth, on behalf of the members, your co-workers, and the Board of Directors, presented to Ruth Kennedy in grateful appreciation of your drive and dedication to building Wilmington's community spirit through public access television, 1995 to 2003, and you're going to be sorely missed. You've been absolutely fantastic.
Now, I have one quick story about Ruth. Well, some of you may or may not know that my least favorite fruit in the whole entire world is the banana. Little did I know that Ruth's husband's favorite fruit is the banana. So whenever there was any type of leftover bananas, what did she make? Banana bread. And so my first week at WCTV back in 1999, I got to work, and what did I have on my desk? A loaf of banana bread. Now, I didn't know what to do because she's my new boss. What am I going to do? Say, no, I don't like banana bread, take that off my desk. So that started a lie that became so big that it had its own name, the Big Banana Lie. So for 2 years, I accepted banana bread. Sometimes it went in the garbage can. It all depended on, where I was that day. A lot of my friends ate the banana bread and liked it. And I passed it off to different people. After 2 years, I moved to Reading Community Television, and Ruth came over. It was next to RMLD, the Reading Municipal Light Department, and she was there with John Doherty as well as Jessica Wilson, who also used to work here. And John came in and talked about how he went to the Blue Ginger in Wellesley, and had the best dessert ever, which is this caramelized banana, whatever. And he said, you know, you really should try it. And I said I was going to be going there. And I said, well, I don't like bananas. Well, Ruth almost fell on the floor because she was like, what do you mean you don't like bananas? I've been giving you bananas for 2 years. And so that ended the banana lie, but it was definitely a thing that I'll always remember. But I want to say a special thank you to Ruth. Not only has she been such a wonderful role model to me, but she's become my friend. And I love her very much, and she's taught me everything I know. And I wouldn't be where I am today.
I just told her I love her.
Oh, you tell Mommy I love you.
Mommy, I love you.
And I love your Mommy, too. She's a very good friend. And everyone here at WCTV is greatly going to miss you. And we appreciate everything. And we appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you so much for being a part of WCTV, and we wish you all the best.
Okay. These are my favorite color. I'm speechless. I was really psyched that you showed a video because I'm thinking, oh, thank God I have a moment to collect myself and I can pull it together and say something meaningful. And I really don't know what to say. I mean, I've loved my time here and I've loved working with everybody. And I'm going to miss everyone a lot. And I know that whoever comes next is going to do a great job here, and I know you'll welcome them and be as good to them as everyone in Wilmington was to me. So I just want to say thank you very much. I'll keep it short like Gary did. And thanks very much for everything. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Amy Bro, for that wonderful presentation. And Ms. Ruth, thank you for your help with our programs as well, Red Sox Weekly and Sports Forum. I would also like to thank the Jolly Rogues once again for tonight's great musical performance. And to all of the producers of programming on WCTV, thank you as well. We appreciate the great television programs that you provide us. Remember, without WCTV, you wouldn't be able to see what you wanted to see, and without you, there would be no WCTV. If you would like to get involved in WCTV, please feel free to contact the station, or better yet, stop by and see where and how the magic happens. Have a great evening, everyone. We will see you next year. Have a good night.